Today, the Conference Board of Canada projected that Alberta will have the most heavily hit economy in Canada this year, as we expected. They're projecting a 11% contraction in Alberta's economy, the most hard-hit province in the Federation. From the very beginning of the COVID-19 crisis, we've said that Alberta is being hit especially hard with the double whammy of the global coronavirus recession. On top of that, the collapse of energy prices, which has clobbered our largest industry, oil and gas. This will also be reflected later this week on Thursday when Minister of Finance Travis Toews releases Alberta's fiscal update, which will show likely the largest deterioration in the province's finances at least since the 1930s. And that is why Alberta's government has responded with greater fiscal ambition than any Canadian province to help preserve both lives and livelihoods, with some $14 billion of actions that we have taken through the COVID pandemic to strengthen our healthcare system, our public health response, but also to try to preserve livelihoods and to limit the damage of the coronavirus recession. It's also why Alberta is the first province in Canada to have launched a comprehensive economic recovery plan for the post-COVID period. We did so well over a month ago with Alberta's recovery plan, a bold and ambitious and detailed plan to build, to diversify, and to create jobs. It is based on ensuring a strong future for our largest industry, our energy sector, while at the same time speeding up and broadening diversification of Alberta's economy. It's also why today we are launching the newly named Ministry of Jobs, Economy and Innovation under the very strong leadership of Minister Doug Schweitzer. Doug has done a great job at Justice, leading important reforms to crack down on crime, particularly in our hard-hit rural communities, and has led many important aspects of the fight for fairness for Alberta, standing up to Ottawa's carbon tax, standing up to the No More Pipelines Bill C-69, and so much more. I want to thank him for his great work at Justice, and I'm confident he'll bring the same passion and professionalism to his important new responsibilities as Minister of Jobs, Economy and Innovation. I'm also excited to welcome to Alberta's Cabinet the Honourable Tracy Allard as Minister of Municipal Affairs. Tracy has a lifetime of real-world business experience. She and her husband and their family businesses have created literally hundreds of jobs. Tracy really personifies the entrepreneurial culture of Alberta, and she will bring even more practical small and medium-sized business experience to the cabinet table. And Tracy will be challenging municipal governments across Alberta to work with us on creating jobs and growth to recover from the COVID catastrophe. Finally, I'm delighted to have named Casey Madhu as our new Alberta Minister of Justice and Solicitor General, as well as the Provincial Secretary for the Province of Alberta. Casey's story is an inspiring one. A man who grew up in abject poverty in his homeland of Nigeria, who overcame enormous odds to get his law degree, come to Canada, and went through many of the tough challenges and great adversity that new Canadians do ultimately to succeed. He and his wife have operated a legal practice here in Alberta. He has served in Alberta's public service and has done a tremendous job as our Minister for Municipal Affairs in the first 16 months of this government, leading many important reforms. And I am delighted that he has agreed to pick up where Doug left off in implementing important reforms to our justice system to crack down on crime, to stop the revolving door for criminals, particularly those who have committed property crime offenses and increasingly violent offenses in rural Alberta. He will continue and ensure the completion of the statutory review of the Police Act, and will also be responsible for implementing the most important and ambitious democratic reforms in Alberta history. With this fall, the introduction of legislation to empower Albertans themselves to decide important issues through the power of citizen initiative referendum, as well as to hold MLAs to account through the legislation for recall that will empower Albertans to force by-elections if their MLAs are not have not kept the confidence of their electors. In closing, I also would like to announce that there will be some senior staff changes in my office. A news release is going out. My principal secretary, Howard Englund, who's provided a phenomenal service and advice to our government, has accepted a postgraduate fellowship at Oxford University. So regrettably, will be leaving our office to pursue those postgraduate studies, but I'm pleased to announce that he will, his replacement as my principal secretary in the office of the Premier will be Larry Komeyer. Larry is a proud Edmontonian who has a lifetime of experience operating businesses as a senior executive of both businesses of both a national and global scale. And his senior presence in my office reinforces our renewed focus on economic recovery, on jobs, growth, and diversification.